Hey everyone, finally got a little mouse video updated. We got traffic going by, so I was giving her food for that. She is about 4 months old, and she's a rescue. It's kind of issues with her foot. That's what that's for. Hoping they don't have to amputate it. But she is here working on some reactivity, some feistiness, severe insecurity, and a long laundry list. Basically, I think she's pretty wild. And so just doing a little demonstration of what a walk looks like with a puppy under 6 months old. Maybe larger breed dogs will go for walks with them when they're more around the 5 months old. It's a lot of work, but you can definitely get to it. But these types of walks with these young puppies, especially small ones, it's just a working walk. It's like 15-20 minutes of turns and stop and sit and all that stuff. So every time I turn, she gets food. So we turn and there's food on the end of it. I'm very calm, very low key. I don't always do this, but with her, she is so used to the leash being permissive. And I think maybe that's because of her harness. I don't know. But she's used to the leash having some give. And it was not working, me being considerate, even with the prong collar. There was just no focus. There was franticness for food and then to jump away. So I didn't want to do hard corrections with her, especially right out of the gate. We don't want to do that with puppies if we can avoid it. And so instead of being softer with the leash, I actually just kept it by my side. And it just froze next to my leg. And I kind of let her just kind of do little corrections here and there herself. And I acted like I didn't do anything. It's like she did it. And look at all this food work that I'm doing, which is normal. I do that with all the puppies. Lots of focusing up to my eyes, bringing food up to my eyes. I might say her name. I might kiss to her. She'll get several pieces of food every time she sits. Then we also might just stand there and be bored for a little bit. Here we moved out of the sit quickly. There was a little tug on the leash there, trying to prevent her from picking stuff up off the ground. See, she's fast. But you want to practice a lot of calm sitting. And so what that means is puppies aren't just calm, but you hang in your sit for a long time. Dogs will, especially with food work, they'll very, very quickly think the exercise is over when they get the piece of food and they'll pop up. So you have to really make sure that that's not happening. So she might get a few pieces of food, especially with traffic around. And we have a neighbor up here that's cleaning his front yard, which she would normally bark at if he was closer. And so we're just doing lots of food for existing. Look at the car, food. Look at the neighbor, food. And we're hanging out, but she has to stay in a sit. Now, I don't correct her for not sitting. That's so important. She is a puppy. Look, pressure. Just pressure. She's pretty feisty, so it looks like my pressure's kind of strong, and to be honest, it is, because she's feisty. You can't understand unless you've lived with her for a few days. But anyway, she needs a little bit of firmness, and she is 4 months old. It's not like I'm dealing with some 8-week-old puppy. So, pressure up. Again, because she just keeps popping out of it. Just so you guys know, we've got traffic behind us, which she's terrified of. And then we've got the guy and the neighbor up into the house, which she's a little concerned about. I do like to say good every time they look at me, even if I don't always reward. Just organically be like, good job. Every time you get eye contact. I don't need my dog to stare at me all the time, but I do want to reward those choices regularly, especially with puppies. But this is how we do it. This is us chipping away. And just so you guys know, this is her tired. Like in a good way. Not cranky tired, just good level of tired. We've done walks with her, not doing anything first, just going out on a walk right out of crate. And it takes 15 minutes before any of this can even happen, it seems like. So she's just a little all over the place. I don't need a magical amount of focus from her. I need her to take food, work for food, because that cuts down on the frustration of me not letting her constantly seek out things on the ground. And then she's looking at things around her, getting concerned about it. Then that sniffing where she's grabbing things on the ground. And it just becomes this whirlwind of all of this pushy behavior. It's just overstimulation and really bad habits. So we want to take our time, really focus on her and what she needs. This is more of those long sits. I don't always do super long sits, but it is important not to let your puppy jump up right after you give them a treat. Make them wait a beat or two. So in a 15-20 minute walk, incorporate 5 to 6 of these longer observation sits where they just get to observe their surroundings and hang out, get a reward for it. They can't pop up. See how much better there's a car too. See how much better she does on this one than she did on the last one? Really, really nice. I think it's because some of the cars were behind her, which made her concerned, but it doesn't matter. We just chip away at it. Lots of patience. All pressure work unless she darts out and kind of does a little correction herself, because my arm has been staying stiff at my side. And I'll just give this style a couple days and see how it goes. Now I am attempting to just walk the dog. And what I mean by that is I'm not constantly doing turns and food work. I'm trying to get from point A to point B and just let her kind of hit the end of the leash and guide her back minimally. And I do mix sit in, as you can see, but I'm not doing constant turns to redirect her energy. I'm trying to see if she'll just settle in a bit, if she's just not allowed to go ahead of me so much. So there's that. So you can see her kick at the end of the leash a little bit, and I might pop my wrist back a little at the same time. I do have to have a shorter leash because I'm catching her before she picks things up off the ground. So it's not quite as short of a leash as I'd like. And we'll do this today and tomorrow, and then I'll layer on some more stuff and I'll keep you posted how it goes. But this wasn't too bad. But when we had tried this yesterday and earlier today, it's kind of a disaster. But that's normal, is what I'm trying to say. You've got to just work your puppy on your block. That's it. Turn, stop, and sit. That's it. Not trying to go for a walk with such a young puppy. It can be really challenging, and then they just get used to pulling and not focusing on you. Whereas this way, they start to build the habits of focusing on you more.